Hello everyone, it's Taylor, and today I'm back with yet another book haul. And if you're asking yourself, didn't she just post a book haul like not too long ago? Yes, I did. You're correct. But those were all of the books that I bought in New York City, and these are more of the books that I bought in September. Yes, I know, I like to buy books. What can you do about it? Quick disclaimer for this video. I do purchase a good majority of my books at used bookstores and the local bookstore at my library, where I can get things for a fraction of the price of what they would be at a brand new bookstore. So that definitely does help, and I would encourage everyone to buy that way because one, you are not buying brand new copies, you're sort of reducing and recycling, and you're able to buy much more because you're saving a ton of money. Let's start the haul off with this beauty right here, and this is Jane Unlimited by Kristin Cashore. Gonna be totally honest with you guys right now, I have no idea what the premise of this book is. I don't even know anything about it, except I'm guessing that the main character's name is Jane, but when I saw this book, I actually out loud said, wow, that's shiny. So I had to buy it right then and there. Next up is Daughter of the Burning City by Amanda Foody. And this story follows 16-year-old Serena, who travels with Gomorrah, which is a carnival type festival, and she is part of the freak show there. Her talent is that she can conjure illusions. Well, one day, these so-called illusions start to be murdered, and it sends her reeling. How can they be murdered if they're illusions and they're not real? Well, basically, these illusions are a family that she has created for herself, and as they continue to be murdered off, she needs to solve these murders and figure out who within Gomorrah is killing her illusions, and she does this with the help of a fellow freak show traveler named Luca. So I'm really excited to get into this one. I've heard good things, and I can't wait to put it on one of my TBRs. Next up, Three Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake, and this is a story about three sisters vying to become the queen, and I have to read the back because it's a beautiful little poem. Three dark queens are born in a glen, sweet little triplets will never be friends. Three dark sisters, all fair to be seen, two to devour and one to be queen. That is seriously epic, and I cannot wait to get into this book. Also, I love that it has these, you probably can't see it here, but it has these sort of, I don't know, like edged pages that are really cool, like old looking. So I thought that was cool, and I love the cover. Overall, I'm just really excited to get into this book, and I know this is the first one in a series. I'm not sure how many books are going to be in the series, but I'm so down to get myself into the story, which seems very mysterious and very dark and alluring. We're going to go ahead and file the next book under The Cover Made Me Do It because seriously, do you see this right now? This is Because You Love to Hate Me, 13 Tales of Villainy, and basically 13 young adult authors partnered with 13 booktubers to come up with these stories of villainy. They're basically, if I understand correctly, it's all existing villains but in different writing prompts. I hope I'm not lying, but I'm really excited to read this one. I love villains. I am always drawn to the dark or evil characters in a story. I don't know why, but I'm excited to read this one. Next up is one of my most exciting $1 bookstore finds, and that is The House of Hades, which is part of the Heroes of Olympus series by Riordan. And if you watch my videos, you probably know I haven't read any of Riordan's books, but I'm slowly collecting them so that I can binge all the series once I get all the books. The next book I picked up is Bite Me by Christopher Moore, and not only is this a really intriguing cover, but when I read the first book of the premise, I was hooked. Let me just share this little bit of glory with you. The city of San Francisco is being stalked by a huge, shaved vampire cat named Chet. I read it twice because I thought I read it wrong the first time, and I didn't. It actually says vampire cat, and I love that there's the detail about him being a shaved vampire cat, and he's also named Chet. Don't know why that's important at this point, but once I read that first line, I was hooked and I had to buy this book. Since we're on the subject of $1 bookstore finds, I also picked up this incredibly bright, fun-looking book called The Summer of First and Last by Tara Elan McCoy. And this book is a coming-of-age story. There are 3 different girls who are the main characters, and basically we're following the story that they first fall in love, when they have their first kiss. It just seemed like a cute, quick read, and sometimes you need those after you've read a long fantasy book or something that has a heavy topic. You just need a quick little fun read to get you through on to the next book, so that's why I picked this one up. Next up is 19 Minutes by Jodi Picoult. This is not a new book and I have read it before, but I did want to own a physical copy as I think it's an incredibly important story. It's a very poignant read about what happens when school bullying goes too far. And we've got 2 protagonists in this story who were once best friends and through their schooling have separated. They've joined different friend groups. One has become popular while the other has become the bullied and picked on, and unfortunately he does decide that the only way he can solve his problems is to bring a gun to school. And this story basically captures the 19 minutes in which he has the gun in the school. So I do want to reread it. It is a very heavy book, but it was an incredible read and I'm excited to read it again. Next up, we've got Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, aka Book 1 in the Dark Artifices series, and oh my goodness. I've already read this book. I just actually finished it, and holy cannoli, it is so good. I've already said this in one of my videos before. I think it was my top reads of the summer. I think this is my favorite piece of work that I have read from Cassandra Clare so far. She just keeps getting better and better, and her stories are amazing. I love everything in the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and I can't wait to read the next book in this series, which is Lord of Shadows. One of my most anticipated buys for this month was They Both Die at the End by SIlvera, and this follows our 2 main characters, Rufus and Mateo, who both have found out that they are going to die on this day. This book takes place in a futuristic world where there's a company called Deathcast that can figure out when you're going to die. And basically they give you a call and say, hey, you're going to be dying today. Please get your affairs in order. So both Rufus and Mateo have gotten this call and they end up meeting through this Last Friends app, which lets you connect with other people that are going through the same thing you're going through. And they decide to spend their last day together. I haven't read this one yet, but I do need to read it very soon. I know it's going to rip my heart out and tear it to shreds, but I don't care. I think it's going to be an incredible book. Next up is one I'm super excited to own, and that is A Shadow Bright and Burning by Jessica Clues. And I did just find out today that it is pronounced Clues, not Clueless. And how did I find that out, you ask? Today I went and met Jessica, and she signed my book for me. So it says To Taylor, Burn Bright, and then has her signature on there. So I'm really excited that I got to meet her and ask her a few questions about the series and her writing process. It was a really exciting event, and I can't wait to read the next book in this series, which I also got signed today, so I'm super pumped. The next 2 books in this haul are 2 free advanced reader copies that I got from the author event at Barnes & Noble today when I met Jessica Clues. And the first one is Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Linsey Cummings. I'm so excited to have a copy of this arc. It's been on my TBR since I first found out about it, and the actual book comes out in January of 2018. So I'm really excited to be able to dive into this early edition copy and to subsequently buy the book when it comes out in January. The last book is another arc, and this is called Top 10 by Katie Cotugno, and I hope I'm saying her name right. I don't know what this book is about, but it has some really good information on the back. It says Top 10 Things to Know About Top 10. Let's see what we've got here. This is an LGBTQIA plus story with a bisexual girl protagonist. It tackles tough issues like concussions and class differences. This is a compelling non-linear narrative structure that keeps you on the edge of your seat. I like being on the edge of my seat, so that's cool. And then the last one says, can a boy and a girl really be best friends and not more? So it sounds like there's going to be a little bit of a situation with some unrequited love, or maybe they both love each other and they just don't know how to communicate it. I'm not sure, but I love stories like this, so I'm really excited to read this one. Major props to you if you are still here, because that was an incredibly long book haul. Thank you for sticking it out with me. Let me know in the comments down below if you've picked up any books recently, or if you've read any of the ones that I just hauled. Let me know what you think. And as always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos from me.